Hey guys, Heather here with Positively Calm Balanced Canine Training in Winter Park, Florida. In this video, I am going to show you how to set up your mini Educator ET300 remote collar. So let's see what's in the box. So when you first open up your box, you will find an accessories sheet, your manual that you will want to read thoroughly because it'll help you operate the remote if you forget. You have your power cord. One attaches to the remote, the other to the receiver, and I'll show you that in a little bit. You have a lanyard similar to what you see wrapped around my neck here so that you can hang it. Your receiver with the collar here. Your remote. And a little baggie filled with accessories. You're going to have 2 additional contact points, a test light, and a tool to remove your contact points, which I'll go over in a little bit. I pulled all of the equipment out. Inside the little baggie of accessories, you have 2 additional contact points that are longer for your long-haired dogs. The tool to remove the contact points from your receiver, which I'll demonstrate later, and then a test light used to test to see if it's operational. So, in order to turn this thing on, you press the on-off button, also listed as the light button. You hold it in until you see the front face light up. In order to connect the receiver, you'll find a little red dot on the front of it. The remote also has a red dot. You line those up and your receiver should flash green. To shut it off, you do it again and it flashes red. To turn it on, line up the red dots, should flash green. Straight out of the box, you're probably going to need to charge your remote. In order to do that, plug the remote into a receptacle. On the back of the remote, there's a little black tab that you lift up. Insert the power cord into the receiver. Make sure this is shut off. On the back of your receiver, there's another tab next to the 2 contact points. I don't know if you can see that. You insert the other end to the remote. It takes about 2 hours total to charge the unit, but after that it's charged for roughly 48 hours. I'm going to now explain the buttons. One side has a black and red button. Black button is for momentary. The red button is for continuous. On the opposite side, you have a button labeled T. This is for vibrate. On the back of your remote, you have the on-off button, also listed as a light button. Next to the light button and the on-off button is the momentary continuous button. At the top of your remote, there is a dial. This changes your intensity. 0 to 100, which is listed as high. 0 to 100. To turn on the light on your receiver, locate the on-off light button on the back of your remote. and tap it one time. You'll get a blinking bright light. Tap it again. You get a solid, continuous bright light. Tap it one more time and you shut it off. You'll also notice the flashing 1D and the M and the C on the face of this remote. The M stands for momentary, the C stands for continuous, and the 1D stands for one dog. This is a one dog remote. You can also buy an option for a 2-dog remote that controls 2 different collars. I like this setting, the momentary and continuous. Momentary stands for a 1/10 of a second stimulation. Continuous is for a 10-second stimulation and then it turns off. To change the momentary continuous options to just work in momentary or just work in continuous, locate the MC button on the back of this remote and tap it one time. You can see that now all you see is the M, which is momentary. Tap it again, you see the C, continuous. Tap it one more time and you're back in both modes, momentary and continuous. There is an option with a remote to use a boost button, which means if I'm just in momentary mode, if I were to set up my remote for momentary only, so momentary stim on the top button, the red button would become a boost. Right now this remote is set to go 5 above what you see right now, so it should go to a 10 if I boost it, and it does. So it goes from 5 to 10 with a boost. Your boost intensity is set at 5 for default. In order to increase that, dial down to 0, locate the MC button on the back of your remote and get into momentary only mode. So you just want to see the M. Once that's in place, hold down your top black button for momentary for 5 seconds. You'll see a 1 flashing. At that time, you're going to want to dial up to whatever intensity you want. Let's say you want it to increase by 10. Tap your momentary button again, and now you should see, if I'm at an 8 and I tap the boost button, it should go up to 18, and it does. If you have a long-haired dog and you're having trouble with him even feeling the remote at all, you may want to change out your contact points. In that little plastic baggie that they ship out in the box, there is a little tool located in it. You just take these contact points out, unscrew, and put the longer ones on. Hand tighten. These don't need to be super tight, otherwise you'll never get them off. And there you have it. If you have a dog that has skin sensitivities to the nickel that's in the contact ports, or if you feel like they might be too long because you have a little mini like Harlow right here, she uses the comfort pad sold separately on eTechnology's website. So how you change this out is you get your little tool, you undo your original contact points, pull out your comfort pad that comes in a tiny little plastic bag that they mail to you. Put this on so that it's not covering your charging port, the little cap. Place the little washers over top. and they give you these two little plastic tops to screw on that become they lie a little bit lower than the actual pad itself. Tighten with your tool again. And then you have your comfort pads. You'll notice that these two plastic pieces are a little bit lower than the actual pad, but this is you're gonna get a little less stimulation out of this, probably half the intensity that you normally would with the original contact points, but these are great for your super sensitive guys or any dog that might have a skin sensitivity to the original contact points. To test to see if your remote is working, because maybe your dog isn't reacting to the low level stimulation like you anticipated, all you have to do is take that little light tester that they shipped with you in the plastic bag, hold it on the two contact points, and press the remote to see if it lights up. I don't know if you can see that. The light will light up to let you know that it's actually working. Another cool thing about these remote collars is that they're waterproof, so you can have complete and total off-leash reliability when you take your dog to the beach, or if he's swimming out at the lake, in a pond, in your pool. The only thing that I would advise is that your charging ports on the back are completely closed on your remote and the receiver. And then when you go to take your dog in, make sure that you wipe off the contact points pretty thoroughly in case like there's salt from the ocean on them or whatever. And another thing that's really important to remember is you're going to want to rotate that collar every 3 to 4 hours to avoid pressure sores from the contact points. If they're left on too long, no longer than 8 hours a day, if they're left on too long, they can develop little sores similar to like a bed sore if you were in the hospital. So very important, rotate the collar and make sure you wipe off the contact points when your dog is done swimming. Okay? So the way we use these at Positively Calm is through low-level conditioning, very similar to the prong collar. So the dog's already been through prong collar obedience. He knows the concept of pressure on, pressure off, and now we're layering the remote over top of that training. So the dog learns how to shut the remote pressure off. So we work at a low level, typically 6 and under. My dogs all work under a 6. Harlow works at a 4. Reuben is at a 6, unless there's a lizard that passes by him. Porter is at like a 5 or 6 most times. Of course, if the distractions are intensified, the remote has to be dialed up a little bit, but I've never gone over like a 10 unless, of course, they're doing something dangerous that warrants a correction. So bottom line is these aren't used to shock our dogs into submission. They're used at low levels to condition them to turn them off. So now I'm going to demonstrate to you like the pain thresholds for the levels on the remote, and I'm going to dial up to 100 and show you what kind of reaction that I might have. I've never put this on me, so other than my arm, I put it on my arm because there was no way I was going to put this on my dog, not knowing whether or not I was going to hurt him. Just to remind you, we use these on low levels for conditioning, typically 6 and under, unless you're working with a severe aggression case. So here we go. I'm going to show you how this works. So I'm going to tap the momentary button and slowly dial up. You can see the remote turn red every time I tap it. One, nothing. 2, nothing. 3, nothing. 5, nothing. 6, nothing. And 6 is where Reuben works. So 7, I feel a little something, but it's almost like when a fly would land on you. 8, same. 9, same. 10, little more intensity, but it's more like this. That's how soft it is. So I'm gonna start dialing this up in larger increments. So we're on 20. This is typically what I use for a correction on my dogs. This typically will get them to stop whatever behavior, bad behavior that they're doing. Digging in the yard, getting trash out of the trash can, eating the cat poop. So here we go. So I definitely felt it. You may have seen my neck jerk a little bit, but it didn't hurt at all. It's more like a tingling vibration, like when your foot falls asleep. So let's dial this up to 30. 30, definitely felt it. Doesn't hurt. I'm gonna go all the way up to 50. So we're on 50 now. That jerked my arm, but it wasn't painful. This doesn't burn, scorch, fry, electrocute. It's more of a vibration than anything. So, and it's quick. It's a split second. Like I said, it's a 1/10 of a second for momentary. Let's go up to 100. I'm sure it's gonna hurt, but it's meant to hurt because this is the only level that you're gonna use for severe aggression cases where you have a human aggressive dog, dog aggressive dog, or something that's gonna take a life. This is an act of God moment. Here we go. So there we did it. It totally jerked my arm out of the way, but it wasn't anything that was life-threatening. Did it hurt? A little bit, but it wasn't insane. So I hope this proves to you that these remotes are truly, truly harmless, especially with the way that we operate them at low levels.